Hello there, ladies and gents. Today we're going to be watching the low seed of Brahmatic against the high seed Realmking in this best of five slugfest. I'm joined this evening by my second favorite German, Lany. How you doing, Lany?
Hey, doing great. Just made myself some liquid caffeine for this match, so I should be good to go.
What's this, your third game of the day?
Yep, it's the third one. We had the kickoff today with Kokosnuss and Rex, and then later on we saw Scythe use his old man powers to play against 31 G-Man, the newcomer. And
Nice.
now we are here.
And this is
Yeah,
this is our third game out of four today. So
exactly. What's the next one though?
the next one will be me versus Jax.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I think many people are. It's probably the most requested one of all the matches today, just because of all the surroundings. It's both likely to be a very close match, as your seeds are very close, at least, as well as it's a bit late in terms of has been a lot of back and forth and bickering between the two players, and everyone wants to see how this is, yeah, played out on the actual playing field now. But now back to this one. We have Realm King and we have Brahmatic Army. Why don't you tell us a bit about Realm King, and then I will tell the people a bit about Brahmatic.
Sure. So Realm King is he seed two in this tourney, I believe?
Yep.
So Realm King in the previous 1v1 tourney back in 2019 ended up taking third place, which is a surprise because I believe in that tourney he was seeded seventh. And as Boba likes to say, Realm King got better at the game by not playing the game, and he came back and just all of a sudden was a contender, taking games off of some of the really good veterans. And then of course he placed second with myself in the 2v2 tourney, so he's definitely one of the top contenders in this game. Very good micro. Dramatic Army, on
Oh
the
yeah.
other hand, is a newer player, but a newer player that I think we've already seen a lot of potential from.
Yeah, Brahmatic Army has been very keen to just poke at the veteran players for information.
Hmm.
He has done some coaching sessions, or partaken in one, not given them. But it all shows that he has a desire to get better at the game, to prove himself in this one. And it has led him towards the majors, right? We are in the majors now. So he has already taken the big step, his first tournament where he plays, and he has already made it to the majors. So that is already in itself really, really impressive. So hat off to Brahmatic Army there. And well, now he's thrown in with the Sharks, right? So it's going to be hard for him, but I'm, yeah, very much looking forward to seeing what he can bring.
Right. So I'm going to let these boys begin the draft. Dramatic
Oh,
Army
yeah.
will get the first ban. What map do you think he's going to ban first?
Honestly, I don't really know his preferences, especially since with the coaching and everything that might have changed from what he played in the group stages. I don't think that we should, with the newcomers to the majors, sometimes you don't need to look too much at past performances because they just change so fast in what they can do on the map. We see a Naboo pick, sorry, ban, of course. Um, and Rem is sad. Maybe he has studied Rem because we both know that Rem just rocks on
Loves the
Naboo,
awful
right?
map of Naboo. I don't like that map.
And secondly, we have a Bothawi ban.
All right.
Now, Bothawi is a map that, if you are a much better player in terms of microing, that doesn't really help you on that map. And we know that Realm King has very pristine micro and oftentimes wins matches off of that. So, yeah, banning a macro map makes total sense. And then we have Dantooine, the new map, not yet as explored. Might have been an advantage for Brahmatic, actually, playing Dantooine, because Realm King is not as experienced on that map either, but
Mm.
it's a ban. And now what do you think about the
Cool.
pick here?
I think Geonosis, as I've said many times, is the map that we're going to see a lot of. If it's not banned, I expect to see it, usually right off the bat. No, we're not rehosting because we just got this open. I think it's a map that is it's just the classic 1v1 map. There's a lot of things you can do. It has very simple yet deep gameplay, and I see people do lots of different things with both factions. And I think it's
Uh,
one of the maps that really has a solid like 50-50 win rate.
oh yeah, definitely. And it's also a map where, how do I put this? if you pick this map against a very good player, you can expect them to pick Rebels, right? But it is a map where it's mechanically comparatively easy to play Empire. Because it's small, it's very well established what your start should look like. There's then 2 or 3 things that have been successful in the past in terms of strategies. And if you can just copy this, you're already in a very good spot on that map and can go from there.
All
Final
right.
countdown, I think.
Yep, we're
Let's
going into
go.
this.
It's a best of 5. It's Realmking against Brahmatic Army.
Okay, right off the bat here, both players moving their starting units. Realm's going for a standard start. Dramatic Army, is he gonna do a redo off this, do you think?
Oh, I
Nope.
think that was a mistake. He has a redo if he wants to. I personally would probably draw it if I didn't get my basement on this map early, but maybe he's a bit too polite for that.
Now, what we're gonna see is every second matters. Realm is gonna pop this baseline before it comes up.
I would expect so.
Maybe
I'm
not. He's
expecting.
dropping.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah,
is
yeah.
he doing what Empire player does, but backwards? Is he just gonna build both middle mines? Oh,
That would
bad
be
micro
very
from
sneaky.
Realm on this base mine. Flew right by, missed all that double damage.
And here I was praising his micro. First game of the day, maybe?
Maybe. Maybe first game of the month. He did build that mine, though, and he built turret in the bottom right. So he has pretty good map control at the moment, but again, there's
Yeah.
fighters sitting, not attacking. That's unlike Realm.
Yeah, but Brahmatic Army is only now going to the bottom right side. He has not checked the middle again. I think he's going for the pirates. Maybe we can look at that.
Yeah.
Yep, going for the pirates. And is sitting on 3,000, now 2,500 credits. He hasn't really bought anything.
Right. Brahmatic Army's going to check the bottom right. Realm's bringing in more X-Wings. You now have 4 squadrons of X-Wings at the station. Realm has bad micro on this here. There we go. That's better. And now I'm assuming that the X-Wings, maybe he'll go clear the pirate dock, or maybe he'll go back mid. Honestly, if he just fights a dogfight mid, I think this is over, right?
The amount of TIE fighters on the map doesn't suffice for Brahmatic to win any dogfight right now, right?
But it also doesn't make sense, the amount of TIE fighters on the field.
Yeah, just look at his credits, 2,400.
Oh,
he is sitting on some mad amount of units, and I'm not sure what his plan is. Right now, Ram is now just building the second mine in the middle. Brahmatic has not checked that again in a long time.
The Realm, I think he's just going to go mine hop and build this mine as well. All right. Brahmatic Army is going back to middle. He's going to find both mines. Do you think he's going to concede when he sees both mines built in the middle, when he failed to kill the base mine?
Maybe he's just going to drop 2 IPVs because he has them?
I don't know. He still has a lot of money. Oh, there's the first one.
There's the first one, but it's against the fighters and not against the mine, even though he could have double damage. Oh, could you zoom in on the IPV?
Yep.
Isn't it beautiful? Graphical update on the IPV. Player color now. Now the casters are no longer confused. It was always so confusing when the IPV came in.
And you can see it doing its
firepower
power to weapons. Let's go.
Yeah.
Look at that. It was hitting both at the same time there for a moment. All right, Empire is rebuilding their base mine, but Realm is building both the turret and the mine in the bottom right.
This would be his 4th mine on the field.
Right. And again, he just has so many X-Wings that IPV doesn't really matter. Brahmatic did spend a bit more money. I think there's going to be a second IPV coming.
Yeah, too late. 2 IPVs are so much better than 1 IPV. Way more than double as good, right? So if he dropped the first one, he should have probably just dropped the second one just right away.
I don't think he had it though, because he was sitting on 2,500 credits, so I really don't think he bought both.
Agreed. Also, he just was too timid in spending his money. And gave away all the momentum that he could otherwise maybe build, but like this, he just didn't get any momentum on that map, right? I'm spotting his base mine now. But he's not moving. He's calling in more units. As opposed to moving his mid units, now he is. Alright. Any way back into the game for Brahmatic?
So many X-Wings. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing he can do at this point against that big of a blob.
They're gonna eat those pirate fighters and TIE fighters alive.
Yep. I mean, Realm has a lot of X-Wings on the field. Oh! Brahmatic's trying to build the turret.
I mean, Ram sees it, Ram turns around, Ram takes the double damage, says, thank you very much. Kaboom. Yeah, that. Ah, Brahmatic. It's a learning experience, right?
Yep. GG's.
But one thing to point out here is I thought the strategy that Ram went for was really interesting.
Yeah,
Dropping that
that's
X-Wing and then building mid, doing what Empire sometimes does, like what Scythe did earlier today. Just flipping the table there.
all
Do you
right.
think that's generally viable? Or is it just viable because Brahmatic played very passively?
I don't know. I lose a lot of Geonosis games, so I can't really speak to that. We have Polus for the second map, and
All right,
Brahmatic is going to respawn.
Polus.
I bet he's going to respawn with Empire,
Probably,
and there he
yeah.
does. So maybe you want to speak to the tweaks we've made to this map.
On Polus, well, there's one huge nebula in the top left, and the bottom left side was exactly the same. There was a huge nebula with a mine inside, and as we all know, rebels hate nebulas because it's very easy for the Empire to just sit in there and destroy everything that comes in there because there are no S4s, there's no speed advantage. And the result was that the map was basically unwinnable for the rebel player. The speed advantage at any place on the map was just always nebula. So we removed that nebula, made a little bit of a passageway on the left side beside the rebel base mine, and now it's pretty balanced, I would say.
Okay, let's see. Realm, very slow to a start.
Going left both? No, going up with both? Going down with
That
one? Is this a
was.
restart? I mean, it looked nice, but
He's saying he is having mouse problems, but I could see him just not restarting. He likes challenge. Right,
okay.
Empire builds their mine first. That's interesting.
That's unusual.
Yep, but I still think Realm kills it. Ooh, and Empire is also lacking to build a missile turret here to stop Rebellion player from building it. Always a good
I
choice.
like that. I like
Realm's
that.
coming in with more X-Wings to get some more double damage on that mine. Realm also flew through the little chasm down here to get to the bottom left mine. Brahmatic's flying diagonally across to get to the other mine here. Brahmatic's putting up the Nebula mine. Realm is still struggling to kill this base mine, so this other mine in the Nebula will get up and be a little healthy.
Oh yeah, and Brahmatic is now arriving in the middle, uncontested. He has 1,700 credits. He could build a turret and the mine if he wants to. A bit late on the turret though, because the X-Wing
Oh,
is
the
already
mine is
coming if you
going
look at the
up.
minimap. Ah, but if you look at the minimap, there's Realmking already
Yep,
coming up.
and Realm is building this bottom mine.
I like that.
Oh, Brahmatic's going to try to build the missile turret here.
Hmm.
Realm will be flying into the Nebula. He will see the mine, he will kill it, but it'll take a second.
It's not
Empire,
that much of a force.
right.
Empire finds the mine, gets some double damage in.
There's a lot of X-Wings over here, though.
Did he build the missile? Yeah, he did build the missile turret at the bottom. Okay.
Yep.
So Brahmatic has a lot of missile turret map control on the map now. Both base mines in range of these turrets, if they are built.
But Realm did find that mine in the middle. It died. Realm is, of course, going to kill this mine up top. Empire will eventually kill this, maybe?
Yeah.
It'll take some time.
I
Same with the
really
base mine.
liked I really liked Brahmatic's start so far,
Hmm.
but I think he dropped the ball kinda on like the second wave of decisions.
Hmm.
Building the middle mine so late, as opposed to maybe building the turret early.
Right.
Or the mine early, right?
Hmm.
And then on the opposing base mine, just one TIE fighter and one missile turret doesn't really cut the cake. It just
I
takes so
think
long.
it's a decision making of how much money he spent in the early game. He built two turrets, both missile turrets.
Hmm.
So missile turrets are what, 700? 725?
Right?
How much are they?
700, 700.
So that's 1,400 credits there. Both mines is another 1,700 credits. So that's, over 3K credits right off the bat, which isn't a bad thing, but I think it just doesn't leave you with enough fighters to deal with the amount of X-Wings Realm was putting out. There's CG
Valid
in the
point.
second
Oh,
game.
actually already calling GG. Wow. But I hope he doesn't like conclude from this that his start was wrong.
Nope, I
Because
think
I
it was
think his
good.
start was fine. Yeah.
I think against a player that wasn't Realm, that would have been great.
Absolutely. I think with playing like this, you would reach the majors, right? Which he did. It's just that Realm is just ice cold in exploiting every mistake you make. And he was a bit slow, a bit hesitant in the middle left. Boom, minus down. He was a bit hesitant on rebuilding his base mine, a bit late on that. Boom, base mine is down. So Ram just punishes things like that really, really well. That's why he is one of the favorites to win this tournament.
Right. All right, we're going to go into third map pick from Brahmatic Army. Which map do you think we're going to see?
Is Endor banned? If not, I think we're going to see Endor.
Endor is open.
No, Endor's open, yeah.
Will Realm get to play all 3 games of Rebel? Oh!
Final if he wins. That's true. Yeah.
I don't know
Realm knows
why
the
I said
rules.
that.
And it's Endor. Okay. Now, Endor can be scary as a Rebel player, regardless of your opponent, if your opponent knows how to defend his base mine, right? Because sometimes your TIE fighter X-Wings just spaz out and everything goes downhill. So Endor is a nice pick, I feel like, because it's a scary situation for Realmking. Pick Rebels and maybe just lose by X-Wings not doing what you want them to do. Or pick Empire, which is probably in an ideal game the weaker faction. I kind of expect him to pick Empire, though, because he
He did pick
probably
Empire.
doesn't trust... Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even see it. He picked Empire there. Okay. Because he doesn't trust enough in Brahmatic's ability to play the Rebels. Putting Brahmatic on the harder faction. Okay, all right. Empire pick.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I messed up with that because on OBS, as you know, it's categorized as a best of 3, and then it's extended for the other 2. So I just saw 3, like, oh, it's the last one.
Okay.
Anyways, game starting.
Anyways, game is starting. We see
Start looks
Brahmatic going for
decent
his
for
base mine.
Brahmatic. I hope he's not planning on building that turret, though. Because if he is, I
Why?
just think only because of how he started. Because if he does plan on building the turret, then he's going to waste a lot of time capturing it.
Ooh. I still think it's worth it.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm just saying, like, if he intended to get it from the get-go to sit in the middle.
Mhm.
All right, he's building. Oh, both players are building turrets.
And now Brahmatic is moving on towards the enemy base mine. Okay, so that's pretty standard,
Rum's
but
tickling that other turret to make sure that his turret finishes it.
exactly, that's what he's doing. He will probably move on once the turret completes to not throw away his TIE fighters, but this little bit of double damage time will leave his own turret with the capability of destroying the enemy turret in the middle.
And he is hard committing already to the enemy base mine.
Very nice spread from Ram, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
He is pretty much everywhere, and he's now checking bottom left. Yeah, really nice, really nice.
Which, yeah, because one mistake I think Brahmatic made here was when he built this mine, he also flew his X-Wing right up through as a giant, like, hello, I was here.
Oh, yeah. He just gave the information to Realmking. Like, oh, there's an X-Wing coming from that mine. Maybe I want to check that.
Okay.
Middle turret going down. Yeah.
And he did not aggro his turret onto the other turret to get any damage either.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we'll see Realm make the cheeky play and try to build that mine? I think we will.
Only if he has already 2 mines. Only if he is so far ahead that he can afford it, even if he loses it. I don't think he will risk it if it makes a difference. Yeah, and now 3 TIE fighters are enough because there is no defensive turret. That's why I kind of like the turret, even if it's only a missile turret. It makes it costly for the Empire player, especially if the game goes longer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I definitely like the turret, too. I was just commenting on the positioning of the fighter. All right,
Yeah.
Realm is putting up the mine in the middle. Realm has not quite defended his base mine. Ooh, he might. No, that'll do it out.
Should go down, yeah.
But those X-Wings took a lot
So,
of damage.
actually, a thumbs up for Brahmatic to actually being able to destroy the base mine. We've seen many failed attempts, and he actually pulled through, but it cost him everything, right? It cost him all the other points on the map, and as laudable as
Realm
the
also
effort
didn't
is,
defend it.
as laudable as the effort is, he needs to put in some more work towards
There
that.
we have it. That's game 3.
Yeah, but his general strategy, I think, is pretty okay.
That was quick.
Oh yeah. That was absolutely super quick. Can I see how long the stream is running? 18 minutes, 19 minutes now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Why
I
don't
would
we?
say it's time.
Yeah, I'd say we get
Yep,
him in here.
exactly. I will drag them.
Hello there.
Hello.
Good games,
Hello.
guys. Good games.
Thank you.
Rel, that was not a new personal record for your speed run, so thumbs down.
Speedrun was only for Kessa.
Good
That's
games
true,
to
though.
both of you. So, Lany, I'll let you take over with what to talk about here, really. I'm not sure where to start.
All right, let's start at the beginning.
That's always a good plan. The bands?
The bands, I personally really like thinking and talking about the bands because to me, they tell a lot about the players and about how much one player has looked into the other player. And I feel like the Naboo band was one of those, Brahmatic, because I think it is kind of known that Realmking just likes that map. Did you find that out and then just banned Naboo from him?
Well, I banned Naboo just as a rule of thumb every game I play because and it was kind of to some extent evident in my gameplay today. I haven't got the micromanagement mechanics down perfectly yet, and Naboo is one of those maps that really requires it, especially when you cross the nebula to hit the base mine. So on that basis, it was a very strategic ban for that reason. I did watch Realm's gameplay, so I knew he liked Naboo, but I was going to ban it either way. So Realm's personal favoritism for that map did not factor in.
Okay. But it didn't hurt either way. Then we have the Bothawi ban. I know, Realm, you don't like Bothawi. That's just
Yes.
an open secret, right?
Yeah.
Not really
It's
anything
probably
about your
my
opponent.
least played 1v1 map.
Mhm.
I kind of started to like polos. That's okay. But I generally don't like playing Boffery.
What's
Yeah,
interesting
Bothawi is.
about
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. It's your interview, not mine.
What's interesting about Bothaway is actually one of my more favorite maps. So if a realm felt targeted by the Naboo map, he certainly hit back hard with the Bothaway ban.
All right. So even hit the center there. And then we had Dantooine, and that's probably it's a new map kind of ban, right? Well, it's from you, Brahmatic, right? For you, all the maps are pretty new. So what made you ban Dantooine?
Well, in my practice for matches, Dantooine is the only map that I'm consistent in losing on. So once
Oh.
again, both my bans were strategic based on which maps I'm most likely to take defeat on, kind of thing. So narrows the options to maps that I know well enough to be able to survive them.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense, and that's what the bans are for. Ban the stuff you don't want to play, either because you yourself don't want to play for your own reasons, or because you know that your opponent wants to play them and to, I know, throw a stone in their path. Yeah, exactly. Then Geonosis usually all was Geonosis. Yeah, it was the first map in all the 3 matches we had today. Now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Carson and I thought that Realm, your strategy was very interesting. You basically did the, I don't know, complementary move to what Scythe did earlier today with the middle mines. But as a rebel, can you maybe tell us about your strategy on Geonosis?
Mostly because I just saw him flying by. And he didn't warp in any units. So I was like, yeah, I'm building the mine
After
for
all, why
most likely
shouldn't I take it?
yeah. Kinda to get some kind of vision over there. And yeah, in the end it just paid off and he didn't consider going to middle. Then I built a second one and later on he warped in the IPV, but then it was already over.
Yeah, yeah. It was a really, really nice mind game, I feel like, because Brahmatic, it took you very long to go back to the middle. You kind of forgot about it. At least it looked like that. What happened there?
Yeah. Once again, I'd say one element of my gameplay today that's consistent is I understand the basic strategy. It's just the execution that's lacking on my part. So I was just not microing the base mine destruction fast enough to be able to reinforce the middle. So that is something obviously I will work on as the years progress and maybe result in a more favorable result in my favor. But had to get the base mine down, but Realm's defensive maneuvers proved very effective there.
Oh, yeah. Something Cuarson and I noticed is that you were sitting on a lot of money for a long time. Cuarson, maybe you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was around like 2,600 credits. Yeah, Lany theorized that you had IPVs, which of course you had one, but the credits indicated that you couldn't have more than one. We were wondering what the plan was with holding onto those credits instead of spending them on units.
Right. Well, knowing that I'm up against an opponent of realm skill, money management is going to be very key because the first target is going to be the base mine. So you kind of have to have some kind of contingency plan for when your base mine goes down. So I really built a lot of my strategies around being able to conserve money once a base mine went down, and then being able to spend at the most opportune times. But obviously, my improvisation after Realm claimed the middle did not prove to be enough as it was. So
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah.
I think that there's just a sweet spot in the middle. Of course, you don't want to overspend. That's very smart. It's always smart to have enough credits left to build a mine at the opportune moment, especially on maps like that. But at the same time, you don't want to have such a surplus of credits that it's effectively stopping you from contesting anywhere else on the map. Because if you were to save 850 credits for your mine, that still leaves you with nearly 2,000 credits. I think it's like 1,800 credits that could potentially be units on the field. 1,800 credits, 6 squadrons of TIE fighters. Roughly.
I got another question for you, Brahmatic. How many ties did you build for attacking my base mine? Because it looked like you only warped in like 3 of them.
yes, I did build 3 for the base mine attack.
I mean, if it's the only objective, you can build more and just pump out those tie to get it down quicker. Because I thought that you weren't contesting anything on the map, like middle or bot right. So I also had 3 X-Wings destroying your base mine. So I had the option to warp in X-Wings to defend my base mine, which in the end also worked. Yeah, and that's why I was just confused, because I thought you would warp in more ties just to get the mine down quicker.
I would agree that you basically had the right idea or a good idea on paper in just not overspending, keeping a bit of money, but I think you just overdid it there. And you will find a sweet spot in the middle there somewhere. Maybe hovering at about 800 credits is probably a good start. Or maybe 900 so you can build a mine. Yeah. And then one thing I'm reiterating over and over again is try to use IPVs in pairs if you can. Because a single IPV is a sitting duck against X-Wings attacking it, and 2 IPVs are a death trap for X-Wings attacking it. So, yeah. Right. I think enough about Geonosis, right? I thought your start was really good, Brahmatic. Your strategies, honestly, on all these maps, your strategies were pretty sound. And like you said, it was more to execution. And honestly, that's very promising because it shows that you have understood many important aspects and only need more practice and more honing in on what you're actually doing. Then second one was Polus Realm. You already told us that you've grown to like that map. And yeah, so that's why you picked it?
Yeah. Mostly because I didn't want to play Castle yet.
Keeping the strats.
Yeah. Let's say I'm hiding a strat that might work or might not. Who knows? I didn't want to pick Endor because, yeah, it's, I don't know. I kind of don't like playing Rebels on Endor right now.
Yeah,
the other
it's
map,
a bit scary.
Yeah, Coruscant. I could have picked Coruscant, but I just had Polos in mind.
Yeah. I think you've played Polus before, Brahmatic, right? In the tournament.
I've done Polus including this game, 3 out of my 4 games. All my opponents seem to pick Polus, it would seem. So
yeah, and again, I thought your start was very solid. You got your base mine quick, even quicker than Realm got his. There was a bit of a hiccup at the start for Realm. And you built your own missile turret so that your opponent can't get it. You got top left side at a pretty early pace. You went to the middle, arrived there first. So the start looked pretty good. But maybe tell us from your perspective, how did that game feel? At what point did it kind of slip away from you there?
I'd say it slipped away when I built the mine middle left instead of the turret middle left. I think I would say that was the blunder that cost me Paulus, because I'd originally planned to build the turret, and then in the moment I just like, oh, the mine, build it, and then I clicked and I'm just like, wait a second, I should build the turret, and then it's kind of too late because you can't cancel building a mine. So yeah, that's what happened there. Because then it was pretty easy for Realmking to come across the map and take the mine out, and I'm out 850, and he's also just grabbed the top left, and I'm still working on his 2 mines in the bottom. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that sums it up pretty well. One thing we've noticed is that you might want to think about building a bomber in some of these games, because you had a lot of the times you had a problem with Empire. I'm speaking specifically of lacking the firepower for the opponent's base mine, or in terms of Paulus, maybe the bottom left mine. And sometimes if you just build a bomber, that's 17 seconds that you spend, and it's enough firepower to kill a mine, as opposed to if you build like 4 or 5 TIE fighters that have the same effect, but that's 40 or 50 seconds. So incorporating a TIE bomber in your build order there sometimes might just make you that much quicker in destroying the enemy mines, and then you have lesser position on the field. So that's something you might want to look into.
Indeed.
Yeah, nice. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just saying, yeah, that could work, or something
Okay.
along those lines.
But like Cuarson said on stream, there's a lot of potential in your Brahmatic army. There's a lot of things you do right, and if you keep at it, then I can see you improve much further than where you are now. Definitely.
It'll be the new Will, but with
The
better
new
internet.
will, maybe.
Better internet.
Maybe.
And less
And
space.
less bombers.
Oh, yeah.
It's the opposite. Yeah, F for Will again, that he can't play in the tournament.
We miss you, Will. We know that you don't have a computer, so you won't see this stream, but we miss you.
Yeah, maybe you can watch it on a smartphone or something. Sadly, you can't play EW on the smartphone. So for now, let's wrap this up. I heard we have another match today, Cuarson. Can you tell us what that is?
Yes, I'm going to be playing later. Come watch me play.
What does later mean? Be a bit more specific.
In about an hour. Come back in about an hour. You're going to see a nice commentary with Scythe and Realm. You're going to see them verbally harassing me as they make lots of mistakes. You know, the usual.
Okay, I'm looking very much forward to that.
Matches of the first round, I anticipate.
Yep, everyone be saying that.
So don't disappoint us, Cuarson.
Oh man, so much pressure.
The exciting match.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stay up for that. It's midnight here
Commentators
now,
are
I'm
gonna
stay
have
up for
a
that.
heyday. Laney's just happy he just gets to lay in bed and watch it and laugh his ass off.
Maybe. Maybe that's what happens.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe a tiny thing. If you guys have noticed yet, we have a tiny change on our Twitch channel, and we
The credits
changed the channel points that you can get by being active on the Twitch, by chatting and interacting with the channel, towards galactic credits. So now you gather and are able to spend galactic credits, which is much more thematically appropriate. So that is a thing. All right. Let's wrap this up here, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, boys, for playing in the tournament. I wish both of you, Realm in the upper bracket now and Brahmatic in the lower bracket, the best of luck for your next match or next matches. And yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Big hello to YouTube later on when this gets uploaded. And as always, if you want to stay in touch with EW in general or the competitive scene in special, then feel free to join the EW community Discord. You will find the link to that below the video or below the stream, depending on where you're watching this right now. Right?
Right.